Retirement jokes. An elderly husband and wife visit their doctor when they begin forgetting little things. Their doctor tells them that many people find it useful to write themselves little notes. When they get home, the wife says, "Dear, will you please go to the kitchen and get me a dish of ice cream? And maybe write that down so you won't forget." "Nonsense," says the husband, "I can remember a dish of ice cream." "Well," says the wife, "I'd also like some strawberries and whipped cream on it." "My memory's not all that bad," says the husband. "No problem, a dish of ice cream with strawberries and whipped cream. I don't need to write it down." He goes into the kitchen, his wife hears pots and pans banging around. The husband finally emerges from the kitchen and presents his wife with a plate of bacon and eggs. She looks at the plate and asks, "Hey, where's the toast I asked for?" Little Johnny jokes. Johnny comes back home from school and tells his father, "Dad, tomorrow you are invited to a special parent meetings at school." "How much special?" "Well, just me, you, the director and 2 investigators from the FBI." Black humor jokes. Booba dies in a fire and his body is pretty badly burned. The morgue sends for his 2 best friends, Daryl and Gomer, to identify the body. Daryl arrives first, and when the mortician pulls back the sheet, Daryl says, "Yup, his face is burnt up pretty bad. You better roll him over." The mortician rolls him over. And Daryl says, "Nope, ain't Booba." The mortician thinks this is strange. Then he brings Gomer in to identify the body. Gomer takes a look at the face and says, "Yup, he's pretty well burnt up. Roll him over." The mortician rolls him over and Gomer says, "No, it ain't Booba." The mortician asks, "How can you tell?" Gomer said, "Well, Booba had 2 holes." "What? He had 2 assholes?" exclaims the mortician. "Yup, every time we went to town, folks would say, 'Here comes Booba with them 2 assholes.'" Blonde jokes. A blonde, a brunette and a redhead are stuck on an island. One day, the 3 of them are walking along the beach and discover a magic lamp. They rub and rub. And sure enough, out pops a genie. The genie says, "Since I can only grant 3 wishes, you may each have 1. The brunette says, "I've been stuck here for years. I miss my family, my husband, and my life. I just want to go home." Poof! The brunette gets her wish and she is returned to her family. Then, the red head says, "I've been stuck here for years as well. I miss my family, my husband, and my life. I wish I could go home too." Poof! The redhead gets her wish and she is returned to her family. The blonde starts crying uncontrollably. The genie asks, "My dear, what's the matter?" The blonde whimpers, "I wish my friends were still here." Jokes about women. A woman goes to her boyfriend's parents' house for dinner. This is Tobe her first time meeting the family and she is very nervous. They all sit down and begin eating a fine meal. The woman is beginning to feel a little discomfort, thanks to her nervousness and the broccoli casserole. The gas pains are almost making her eyes water. Left with no other choice, she decides to relieve herself a bit and lets out a dainty fart. It wasn't loud, but everyone at the table heard. Thepoof! Before she even had a chance to be embarrassed, her boyfriend's father looked over at the dog that had been snoozing at the woman's feet and said in a rather stern voice, "Skippy." The woman thought, "This is great." And a big smile came across her face. A couple of minutes later, she was beginning to feel the pain again. This time, she didn't even hesitate. She let a much louder and longer fart rip. The father again looked at the dog and yelled, "Damn it! Skippy!" Once again the woman smiled and thought yes. A few minutes later, the woman had to let another one rip. This time she didn't even think about it. She let rip a fart that rivaled a train whistle blowing. Once again, the father looked at the dog with disgust and yelled, "Damn it, Skippy, get away from her before she shits on you." Little Johnny jokes. Little Johnny attended a horse auction with his father. He watched as his father moved from horse to horse, running his hands up and down the horse's legs and rump, and chest. After a few minutes, Johnny asked, "Dad, why are you doing that?" His father replied, "Because when I'm buying horses, I have to make sure that they are healthy and in good shape before I buy." Johnny, looking worried, said, "Dad, I think the UPS guy wants to buy Mom." Dirty jokes. My dad helping me find a GF. Dad, what do you want most in a woman? Me, my dick. Grounded and high-fived. Blonde jokes. How do you keep a blonde busy for 2 days? Give her a piece of paper that has "Please turn over" written on both sides. Blonde jokes. 3 women are about to be executed for crimes. One's a brunette, one's a redhead, and one's a blonde. 2 guards brings the brunette forward, and the executioner asks if she has any last requests. She says no, and the executioner shouts, "Ready! Aim!" Suddenly the brunette yells, "Earthquake!" Everyone is startled and looks around. She manages to escape. The angry guards then bring the redhead forward, and the executioner asks if she has any last requests. She says no, and the executioner shouts, "Ready! Aim!" The redhead then screams, "Tornado!" Yet again, everyone is startled and looks around. She too escapes execution. By this point, the blonde has figured out what the others did. The guards bring her forward, and the executioner asks if she has any last requests. She also says no, and the executioner shouts, "Ready! Aim!" The blonde shouts, "Fire!" Dirty jokes. Naughty boy draws a P*NIS on a blackboard. Lady teacher rubs it off. Next day, he draws a bigger one and writes, "Remember, the more you rub the bigger it gets."